I'm guaranteed correct, and it's done. I've got the paperwork, got the T-shirt, got everything, and there's no disputing whatsoever. The problem was, they didn't want the information getting out to the public, so nobody ever exposed the information of what had happened, and rather than letting them know, they hung me out to dry and finished me off, my career, everything. I lost everything. Now, they were aware that what they'd done was incorrect, it wasn't lawful, it was criminal, and they just sacrificed me and says, look, it doesn't matter, we'll just throw him away, and that was it. So the effect it's had on myself and my family and friends, it's horrendous. Now, when we look at the situation just now, you catch bits and pieces each day in the news, or you speak to other people. What's happening on a daily basis in this country is horrendous. This is the things that go on. It says it's not acceptable to live in a country like this and to allow the state and the government to behave the way that they do. If you have a court, it says a court is there for justice, nothing more, nothing less. It's justice. You go to court, that's it. It's not about money, it's not about profit, it's not a business. It says you can't get a jury when you go into these courts, and if you do, the jury is actually controlled by the judge. It's not common law. Now,
I actually lost my daughter for forced adoption without a trial.
Yeah. Well, again, this is open in court weekly. This is with people helping you as well. They do things without trials. You don't get a trial, and if you do, they stick you in a room somewhere for administrative hearing.
And when he appeals, he refused to appeal.
Yeah. Well, basically, this is why we're here today, right? Because of what we're doing. We have courts tomorrow. We've got 3 cases tomorrow, all with relevant issues, and obviously we're going to convene them tomorrow. But what we're doing just now is going to explain the process, get people to ask questions as we go along, and explain the principles behind it. Now the court, as I said just now, there's many things that people do. Now I know, because I've been in court and done it myself, I've stood in court and says, look, first of all, I stand under common law, I've signed Article 61, I do this, that and other. The judges look at you as if you're an idiot, they're not interested. Now, the one thing I'll say just now, if you knowingly go into a statutory court, you have to make sure that you do not lose, right? What is the point of giving them something to use against you and you know you're going to be defeated, right? Now, things, simple things, you use UCC law, right? Great. This is Article 61, again, great. These things do not work in the statutory courts. Because they don't work in the...
We've actually had a dragon that used it and a judge accepted Article 61.
Yeah, so did Article...
In Wales, yeah.
Okay. Did you achieve a result based on Okay. I apologise. Well, again, that's great because we're learning now. So we've heard that somebody has used Article 61 that's worked. But I would suggest just now the amount of people that have signed up under this and presented this to court, most cases, if not 99%, they'll just say, look, we're not interested. Now, unfortunately, it is applicable, but the judges don't accept it. We've actually had judges within their own system breaking their own rules. They fail to comply with the rules, they just ignore it, and they're not held accountable. Now, the principles of common law is cause no harm, loss or injury, which is great. So in a minute, if we do that, that's fine. But the point is, if someone causes you harm, loss or injury, I don't give two stuffs who it is. If they're causing harm, loss or injury, they are held accountable as a living man or woman, and it should be the case under common law. That is not the case, because basically, if you're actually working for the state, he says what happens is they either pension you off, give a huge bonus and just park you in the back. No action's ever taken against these individuals and they're not held accountable. Sorry, did you want a question?
No, I was just going to say that my judge turned case law over and said I can't see that. I take the bank's word that you owe them money.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'd like just to say something, if I may, slightly. I don't know if people are aware of this, but the spooks are listening to us now. The system has probably been in here. Why this place? They know what we're saying right now, live. They are listening to us.
It's okay. It's not a problem. I don't have a problem.
No, I agree with that.
Let them listen, let them get scared because we're coming for them. Let them get scared.
On that point, I don't have a problem. I'm quite happy to tell everyone, my name is John Smith. That's all I need to know. That's it. Right. Look, what we're going to do just now
Rob White.
The principles with common law, and as it says, go back to the basics. It says the people, believe it or not, actually have the authority. if the people stand together, it says you have the authority and you can change things. Now, one or two things that have happened in courts just now to confirm it. Now, I apologise when we deal with things. As we're talking through here, we have a small team. The government, it says, and I know I was looking at figures a couple of weeks ago, within England and Wales, because we're down here, I think there was a figure there that was running about 7,800 million pounds is annually spent in the courts in England and Wales. I thought, right, but that's to have property, they've got staff, they make profit, but there was a budgeted figure there, and I said, well, what's that figure for? I thought, well, forget it. But it was just I was seeing these hundreds of millions of pounds. Now, for the first time ever that I'm aware of, and you can go anywhere in the world, when you have a judicial system, the judicial system is run by the state, the government. That's it. End of story. Nowhere have you got a separate jurisdiction running at the same time, and certainly not controlled by the people. In court, we had a High Court and appeal sheriff, this is actually in Scotland, that actually turned and went on record and admitted that what he says is, fine, we can see the paperwork you're submitting. Now, bearing in mind, the certificates they're speaking about is first of all common law birth certificate, right? Now, the common law birth certificate, which is not my brainwave, it was actually a mother, believe it or not, had turned around and said, that's good. He said, but they're taking away children, they're doing to this, they're threatening us with X, Y and Z. Can we record the children? I said, yes, you can. And they said, right, fine, I want a birth certificate. Shit. Birth certificate is fine, but basically they wanted a birth certificate. Now again, this is not for money, but we says, right, okay, we'll do it, of course, so you get the birth certificate. But because of the states, what the state's doing, we says, right, here's the birth certificate. Now it changes the format in the court. Because prior to this happening, I went to court and I stood there and said, look, we don't have jurisdiction, I stand here under common law. And again, like the gentleman was saying just now, I can't see you, I can't hear you, not interested. So basically it means it says I'm not in their system, they can't listen to me. I thought, fine, okay, you're dead, that's it, end of story. I thought, well, hold on a minute, whoa, hold on, whoa. No, here, I've got a certificate. Here's my certificate. So you present the certificate, they now have to accept it. The certificate is a lawful deed. It's a document issued by a court, and a court of the people. It's stamped by the court, and it now confirms your birth under common law. When you take that and it goes into the court, they cannot argue with it. So they have to take it into the court. Now when it goes in, we now have word back, because we've pushed the judge admitted that, yes, okay, fine, we see your certificate, okay, yes, we will confirm, we do not have personal jurisdiction over the man. That was it. So therefore, by stating that you stood under common law and having your birth certificate, because you've proven it as a fact, a lawful fact, they cannot deal with you. You've no authority. So therefore, what we then did is we said, right, we've also got ownership of the fiction. So having ownership of the fiction, we're then saying, right, we've now taken this away from the state. Now, the fiction is simple, it's straightforward. From limited knowledge I have, again, this we've been through it a lot. The legal fiction is, go back, it says the act that everyone refers to is 1666, the Set of KV Act. SSVK. Sorry, I'm Scots, can't pronounce it. Basically what happens, he says that at the time there was various problems there was the fire of London, the plague and various other things. Now the state and the bankers, sorry?
Do you want me to explain SSVK?
Well, if they want to hear about it, yeah, you can if you want. It's okay, well, you can look up yourself all these things, but basically what we're saying is they created at the time the fiction. The fiction was set up. Now, basically it's a way to attack individuals. So the simple version is, the government, when you're born, it says you record your birth certificate, it says the government create a legal fiction, right? Now, again, this is using that, and there's various impacts in that you can claim things back, claiming you're dead. Forget that. Keep it simple. This is what it's about, right? The government, without telling your parents, and without telling you, you were a child at the time, but you've grown up and they still haven't told you, they created a legal fiction, right? So therefore, when they deal with you, the government, from birth, they're not dealing with you as a man or a woman, they're dealing with you as a fiction, a title, a piece of paper. That's all it is, right? Corporation. But basically that's what it is. They do not deal with living men and women, right? It's all business, corporate. So that's what they do. So then when we said, I sat down and thought about it, we said, right, okay, fine. Well, we've confirmed our stance under common law, which is the birth, so we've got the birth certificate. Well, what they are doing is fraudulent. According to their rules, they've created something which is based on a contract. If there's more than one individual, it's a contract, but according to their law. And according to their rules, according to their rules, contract has laws and officer conditions for that for it to be a valid contract. Now, one of the rules, which is the main one which I've selected, is say, well, fine, first of all, there has to be full disclosure, which means that every party involved has to know what's going on. First of all, when your parents recorded your birth, or they were told to record your birth, they were never told about this. They were never told that the state were creating a fiction to use on your behalf.
The threat of a fine as well.
Yeah, and again, they pay you for the privilege or charge you for the privilege, so that's it. So they
actually
threaten
true?
you, sorry?
It's not that's actually true that if we didn't register
Yeah.
our kids' birth
Yes.
within 8 weeks,
Yeah.
it would be a convict.
The most anybody's
Sorry,
ever
but
been
like,
fined
now,
is
register
£2.50.
yourself
You know
if you
that,
wanna
right?
register
The
yourself
most
if you
anybody's
want
ever
to
been
be-
fined is £2.50.
Basically, the system,
Yeah.
sorry, what we're actually going to say just now is, excuse me, what we're actually going to say just now, you can see already that people are coming forward with stories. Look, the state, what we will say just now, the state have an end result. So they get you, and that's it. They've created a fiction. They control you. Now, there's very many stories about this, but one way or another will do it. Now, what they like to do is through threats and intimidation, and threats of fines and enforcement, they actually make sure that everyone signs up to the system. So you're in the system, and that's it. But bearing in mind, what they've actually done according to their own rules is fraudulent. Because there's no full disclosure, it means the contract is not valid. And that's their rules. Now, if it's not valid, it means that the contract's void and you can't use it. So the creation of the birth name, the legal fiction, the title, right, it's void. It doesn't matter. So the state don't have it, nobody has it. Now, at the point of the day, you turn around and say, yes, okay, well, the fiction's there, that's fine. It says, can I do X, Y, or Z with it? Look, forget all this crap. It says, you can do things later on. We're speaking about basically taking back control for yourselves. So what we've said is, look, you have a fiction that was attached to you at birth, right? So if you have the fiction, the state or any other authority should not be able to attack you with it. So what we do is we take control of it. Now, having researched that and spoken to a few friends and that, we sat down and looked at it and said, look, at the end of the day, what actually happens is that they have something which is using, it's operating. You cannot get rid of it, you don't cancel it with a common law birth certificate because it still exists. Your legal fiction is on your driving licence, it's on your passport, so if you have them, it's used for the NHS, it's used for school, it's used for everything. It's used for banks, you can't get a bank account to use it.
When you're born, your birth certificate is actually worth 6.4 million. It floats on the stock shares in America. You can check it on fidelity.com. I've just done it myself. My shares are actually worth 114 billion pounds.
See, what I'm actually
I
getting
want to know how we get our
Well,
money from Buckingham Palace.
stop, hold on. This is where, I would like to turn around and say just now, look,
Can I just say, everybody, we've come a long way to listen to the guy. We're going to shoot
No,
ourselves
it's
in the foot.
okay.
Let's just listen to it. Let's just listen
Yeah,
to it first.
no, fine, thank you.
Alright, because otherwise we're going to be doing all this and we're not going to learn. Please.
Yeah, no, it's fine, it's okay, look, it's fine, there is an opportunity. As I said just now, look, what we're doing is that there are lots of things you can actually move on to just now with different things. Now, this is the work that people do in other areas are great, right? Now, everyone is entitled, because of what they've done with the birth name, and they've set up various funds and all the rest of it, people know about it. There's many people dealing with this worldwide. I know a girl that said, no, I've spoken to her, I've seen some of her stuff as well. It's over in America, I think she may be Canada. It's Anna Von Rice. She's done a hell of a lot of work. Now, I don't know enough about it. Sorry?
Lawful bank.
I don't know enough about all this
She's
stuff.
involved in that.
Yeah?
She's got her trust back, but she can't get the money apparently.
Right, well, what I'm going to say is on the point there, that's exactly that. On the point there, look, it says there's people doing this, you can access things. Now, just say hypothetically, right, if everyone's worth billions of pounds, right, and everyone, there was a way to do it, and it was simple, everyone would have the money, right? If that was the case, that would cripple the world. That would finish everything, right? Now, if it triples the will, what's the point of doing it? Because you've got to finish everything off anyway. But the point is, that's not the main aim here. I said the main aim for the common law court is basically to take back control, authority, and to obtain a lawful remedy, so you cannot be attacked by the state or any other individual. Once you do that, things come with it. So as you will see as you progress just now, with the common law court and the decisions we're getting just now, you are protecting yourself. It says there are things that are happening just now and people benefit from it, and it's happening now. It says so it does actually happen, there are benefits, but you will find as this develops just now, and the state find out about what we're doing, we'll be in a position to enforce things to improve everyone's life. So that will happen, but it has to be step by step. Now, I remember when I first started the first court, it was in the June 11th, we said last year, when we set that up, I was contacted by various people and said, yeah, it's great, that, but it'll never work. So, well, what do you mean it'll never work? We've done it. And they said, yeah, it won't work, you can't do it. Hold on a minute. We actually have, and it wasn't the one judge we had initially in Scotland, we've had judges in England as well, and say, look, fine, these documents, I can confirm, the common law documents, the certificates you have, are used in court cases, they're winning. Now, what seems to be coming back from all the courts is, yes, okay, we will admit the common law court exists. We'll admit that it's operating a second judicial system, so you have a different authority here. We know that you issue documents, that's fine, we've seen them, that's okay, we don't have a problem with that. We're aware that you convene your courts and we're aware that you give orders. Fine, okay, we're not worried about that. Now they've admitted that, that's fine. But then they say, however, we deal with the statutory system. Right?
So, problem is though, under any statutory system and common law, if you refer to the entity, you make the entity real.
Yeah.
So it's the judges themselves that have actually made our precedent and common law reality.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Sorry, how have they admitted that? Well,
around the point separate jurisdictions, the courts basically they refer to the common law as an entity. So once you actually reference it, you make it real.
Basically, it says we have the reference. This is what I'm saying about the certificates. I can tell you now, because I'm involved with them. I know over 100 documents that have been used in statutory courts to defend people. These documents go in,